Oh, thank you.
Okay, Barbara.
Okay. Good afternoon. Welcome, everybody, with this pitch perfect session by our loyal friends from Question Pro. Who will tell you everything about their new features about collecting Qual in a quant environment. I think most of you know how it works. They will be talking about their product for 20 minutes or so, and there will be plenty of time to ask questions afterwards. You can put your questions in the chat. But also feel free to come online, put your video on, and just ask questions directly. Thank you very much for joining us, and I'll give the word to Oku.
Perfect. Thank you for that introduction. So, first of all, thank you all for being here. This is my second speaking engagement. The nerves are still there, but hopefully it wouldn't show during this presentation. But firstly, just to set the tone, I will be going through a few slides. I have the 18 slides. I will try to be as quick as I can as I go through them. I also embedded a short video midway during the slides to show a live demonstration of what I'm actually discussing. But first, I think to take a step back, it's always good to start off as to why I chose this topic. Now, I've met quite a number of you over the years. I certainly have met a lot of independent research consultants, and I've noticed something interesting. There's a distinctive divide in the industry. You usually have those who are what I call the quant people. And then you also have the qual people. I know at the ICG Christmas party, everyone I spoke to, they either solely focus on qual and pretty much no quant, and those who are all quant. And it was rare to find someone who did both. It felt like two different football teams competing in the same league because we're all in the same league, so to say. And to be fair, that split does exist for a reason because these are very different methodologies, different skill sets, different timelines, and ultimately different budgets. But despite that divide, we're all ultimately trying to answer the same thing. What do people really think, feel, and experience? So that got us thinking here at Question Pro, how do we reduce that gap between qual and quants? How do we bring richer human insights into scalable quant research without turning every project into a 12-week qualitative study, diary study, etc.? And that's where we came up with video AI. But first off, for those of you who do not know who we are, just a quick summary introduction. Question Pro, we are a leading research software provider for data collection. And we allow for quant as well as qual. On the quant side, our platform allows for advanced research methodologies like MaxDiff, conjoints, and more. And on the qual side, we have an online community platform that allows for idea boards, topics, online discussions, including Zoom meetings, as well as a diary study platform. So you can say our offerings cover a broad spectrum from hardcore research to even customer experience, as well as audience services and so on. But today we're focused on something in particular, something different, video AI. So what exactly is video AI? At its simplest, it's real-time video feedback embedded directly into a quantitative survey. So respondents can record themselves directly inside the survey experience, and AI helps analyze not just what they say, but also the sentiment and emotion behind it. And honestly, that's the interesting part because tone alone can miss context. Someone could say, yeah, it was fine, but that could mean I loved it, or I would rather step on the Lego than use that product again. For those who are parents who have stepped on the Lego, you know how that feels. The main thing is tone matters. So let's take a step back. We've all been there. You're staring at a beautiful dashboard, great charts, lovely percentages, and then you see 70% of customers like the products. Great. But then comes the client question. Okay, why do the other 30% hate it? And suddenly everyone in the room is fidgeting and pretending like the meeting link is broken. Traditional surveys are excellent at telling us what happened, but they struggle to explain why. Now, we've lived in a world of closed-ended boxes for a long time, so we have strongly agree, agree, neutral, disagree, and so on. But humans are messy. People don't experience products in radio buttons. People don't experience things in radio buttons in general. And as independent consultants, this becomes even more important because clients don't just hire you to collect data anymore. They hire you to provide interpretation. So context, depth, storytelling. Anybody can create a bar chart. What differentiates an independent consultant is your ability to uncover insights. The challenge is traditional quant tools can sometimes flatten human emotions into percentages. So the opportunity here is to bridge quant and qual together. An AI, a video AI isn't just a video upload box. Behind the scenes, machine learning, natural language processing are helping analyze emotions, sentiments, and patterns at scale. That's the real shift. Now, these are some of the majority benefits. The first is authenticity. You capture facial expressions, hesitations, excitements, frustration, and nerves in my case. The things respondents would never type into an open text box. Second is unified workflow. You don't need separate platforms or separate studies just to get qualitative depth. Third is speed. And independent consultants especially appreciate this one because time literally equals revenue. Manual coding of videos can be painful. This dramatically reduces that effort. And finally, storytelling. Clients remember people, for sure. They remember emotions. They remember clips. Nobody has ever said, wow, that pie chart's changed my life. But a real customer emotionally explaining frustration with a product or an experience, that sticks. So again, simply put, video AI is a qualitative video question type built directly into a standard survey. Respondents record short videos of themselves without needing Zoom links or external integrations or even another platform. And then AI handles the automatic transcription, the emotion detection, the sentiment analysis. And I think that's the key message today. We're no longer choosing between quant or qual, we're embedding one inside the other. This is probably my favorite part as a consultant. Video AI lives directly inside the survey platform as an advanced question type, if you're looking at on the Question Pro platform. So meaning there's no need for an additional platform. You don't need a six-figure focus group budgets. There's no complicated setup. You could literally add qualitative depth into your existing workflows you already run today, which means as independent consultants, you can provide richer insights without massively changing your project scope. So in other words, if someone says, oh, do you do qual? You can say, I can collect decent qual data as well. And honestly, the setup itself is intentionally simple. So this is what we've gone with. Keep it simple. Because if researchers need a 40-page implementation guide in terms of how to set this up, we've already failed. You select the question type, configure the recording duration, add your prompt, and you're ready to go. It's that simple. Very low friction. Now let's talk about the respondent experience because this matters a lot. Today's respondents, or people today, we're all used to communicating through video, whether it be TikTok, Instagram, voice notes, Zoom, Teams. For many people, speaking is actually much, much easier than typing, especially when emotion is involved. So instead of forcing respondents to type 3 paragraphs explaining their frustration or their experience, you can simply get them to speak naturally. And honestly, if someone can record a 3-minute video of their cat doing a backflip, they can absolutely tell you why they hate your client's new packaging or they love their packaging, or they can really tell you how they feel. And surprisingly, response quality can become much, much richer because people naturally elaborate when they speak. Now we get to the fun parts. Because collecting video is one thing, analyzing hundreds of responses manually is another thing entirely. And if you're even doing a classic focus group, that is also painful. For those of you who've done that, you'd know. As independents, time is one of our most valuable assets. And manual coding of video responses, let's be honest, can be soul crushing. I've done this before and I know how painful that was. You start enthusiastic, you're like, right, I'm going to code everything. And by response 100, you're already questioning why you chose to do it this way. So automation here is genuinely impactful. Here's where AI really helps. Responses are automatically transcribed within seconds. Sentiment analysis is conducted immediately, meaning you can move from raw feedback to insights much, much faster. And importantly, you still retain the human layer. You can always go back and watch the actual responses in case you feel like there's something you missed, but that is where the AI really comes in. This is where clients usually start getting excited because now we're visualizing emotions at scale, whether it's positive, whether it's negative, whether it's negative sentiment distributions, all AI generated summaries, emotion trends. And suddenly your qualitative feedback becomes something measurable, something scalable without stripping away the humanity behind it. Now, this is where I'm going to actually show you a very quick video. I'm mindful of time. So I recorded a 3-minute video just to show you how it actually works, just so you can see it. I'm going to play this and increase my screen. I'll increase the speed slightly. So we can see here, it's as simple as setting the video, setting the duration, as you can see here. And I'm using the second screen, so I'm looking to the side. And now I can set it to either force a response or requests. And now when it comes to the preview, this is what the respondents would see. So I've asked the question, do you want to take parts? They say yes. They come to a part where they can record a live video. So you can see there's a record button on the actual question. It's optimized for taking in mobile, on tablet or on desktop. Now your respondents can record their feelings, speak freely, and once they're done and they hit play, hit stop, they have the ability to watch again, record it again, or just simply submit. Again, I'm doing this at speed, but I'll share this slide with those of you who want it. But now to come to the analytics, we have a dedicated analytics for video AI. Here you can see all the responses that you've received, as well as the breakdown of sentiments. There's an AI summary of what everyone has said, and you can click in and see what each person said. You can go into the individual videos. You can play the videos. You can read the transcripts. You can like a video if you want to come to it later or dislike a video. But you can also see that you have the sentiments attached by with video. So in this particular one, it's a neutral video where that's why you have the yellow signal next to it. Besides watching the videos, you can also download them all. You can download them as CSV reports, or you can download the video plus CSV, or you can just download all that you've either viewed or ones that you haven't viewed. Again, keeping this pretty simple, and also you can go in and see where each response came from. So you can see all their accompanying responses and their location as well. Again, this is a quick video to show you what this looked like. Hopefully this gives you at least a quick snapshot of the tool in action. But before I wrap up, I want to leave you with a few best practices because these small details make a huge difference. And this is best practices I've seen from people who are successful at collecting Qual in their quant environments. First is consent. Ask for video consent early in your survey. Don't suddenly surprise your respondents with, hello, please record a video of yourself at question 40. That's how you lose your completion rate. Explain the value. Tell respondents the why their feedback matters. People are far more willing to participate when they know they're being heard, not just processed. Use the right logic, use the right routing. If someone declines video participation, don't force it. Don't just kick them out. Use show hide logic to protect the rest of your quant data and overall respondent experience. Think of it like a first date. This is how I said this to a friend of mine. You don't want to ask someone to star in your documentary before the appetizers arrive. You'd make sure that they're with you the whole way. Coming to my last slide. So to close, I say scalability, or should I say scalable qualitative research is no longer an oxymoron. It's becoming your competitive advantage, especially for independent consultants who need to deliver deeper insights, faster turnaround times, and stronger storytelling without dramatically increasing project costs. The real opportunity here is moving beyond not just reporting numbers, but also capturing the why behind those numbers. Because ultimately, percentages explain behavior, but people explain meaning. Thank you. I really I've gone really fast and I've done it in a shorter time than I thought I would. But at this point, I hope this was shortened to the point. And yeah, any questions, feel free to either ask or pop it in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you, Oku. I see a question here. I think, oh, this is, I think, not related to this. Well, let me first, I have a couple of questions, but thank you a lot for the great presentation. I really enjoyed also looking at what this looks like in real life. I was wondering if you could elaborate a bit on what type of studies, like use cases, you've seen this implemented most successfully. And how broadly is this already done? I'm not sure if you get any access to that.
Yes, no, absolutely. I think this is where this came from. So for context, there is a large FMCG company that we work with. Yes, I appreciate they're slightly different and they do a lot of packaging testing. And they typically use agencies that did Qual and they used us for the Quant. In their case, using this has really cut down the budget that they spend for having two different agencies because now they use heavily the video AI feature to get Qual in their surveys. That's one particular use case that comes to mind. The others are, I do actually, perhaps I'm not sure who's on there, but there's a couple of members of the ICG that I know who actually use this because now they're able to, rather than walk away from saying, oh, we don't really do Qual, they're now able to bid and say, hey, this is why we may not be a Qual specialist, but this is what we do. This is how we can actually get you more information, more richer insights by using this. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to name drop a few of them, but yes, again, it's another way to actually have people do both than say, oh, I'm only just quant and I'm only just qual. So I hope I did I answer the question or did I just waffle? Because I know I sometimes kind of waffle
Yeah,
through.
no. I think that was very clear. I have another question here from Jeff. He asked any integration to video editing tools. For example, in our 3, 4 day communities, we like to create show reels part of so yeah, show reels like part of clips from different people. Is that possible within the platform or integration with other tools, or do you have any recommendations to do that?
Yes, there is. We have something called Platform Connect, which I didn't get to show on here, but yes, it is possible. Perhaps we need to connect to discuss the specific use case that you have in mind. But yes, it's something that can be done. So how previously, before we built this, we had something called Platform Connector. People can connect to an external tool that they used, and it brought them back to the Quant environments. But the video AI feature was supposed to eliminate that. But yes, Jeff, please, happy to connect with you to discuss what your specific use case to see what's possible. But the top answer is yes.
Perfect. Um, I was also wondering, what will this work across global studies and across also maybe accents, if it's English and across different languages, or can you say something about what languages are good or maybe where you need a bit of more manual work? And is that possible to add or improve it by yourself?
That's a very good question. Yes, so this covers all languages. Also even languages, but I can't remember the word, like Arabic and who use a different writing style. Um, it does in terms of manual tagging. I need to check on that because what we have so far, we believe does not require manual tagging. There is still some manual. We have a feature for manual tagging, but for the video AI, it's supposed to remove the need for manual tagging. But let me check if it can be overwritten. So to answer the question, yes, it covers all languages
And
and
yeah,
different cultures, and that for the manual tagging, I need to double check that.
okay,
Mhm.
cool.
Let
Another question from Karen. Thanks, Oko, for sharing this. It's great that the load lifting is being taken care of, freeing us up to interpret the insights and recommendations. How does Question Pro tool compare to other such tools? For example, I've come across Field Notes. I think that's indeed a well-known platform for this.
I actually didn't know field notes. I know what's how they compare.
I
So
think they come more from the qualitative side, so really like
right.
focus on the video first. And I don't think they have in-depth surveys, but it's been a while since I looked at that.
Yeah, no, I do not know. So this goes back to, let me just go back to this. So we do have our Qual platform, so the community platform. So the community platform that we have does have discussions. So you can have people in an online focus group. It has idea boards, it has all of that. What we're trying to do is to bridge that gap. Because if I look at the list of all our customers, especially on the agency side, the ones who use our community are specifically focused on Qual. And then we have loads of consultants within ICG who specialize on quants. So this is just trying to bridge that gap. But yes, we do have a Qual only site that still does its thing and is still very popular. But I think the reason why I chose this topic, especially again for the ICG, is because I know you're not going to be competing against the big agencies. And also at the same time, you don't want to walk away from an opportunity purely because you don't have the manpower to deliver on Qual. So to be able to say to your end clients that, you know what, yes, I specialize in quants, I can still collect very rich data, and this is how it would look like, is why I thought this would be beneficial for this particular group.
Yeah. Got another question from Nicholas. We use external panel partners who script our surveys. Is it possible to give external parties access to your tool? And in general, what is the typical budget? And I don't know exactly if Nicholas means for Question Pro in general, or if this is a sort of a paid add-on, or how does that work with the different subscription models you have?
Good question. So for panels, we do have our panel. Let me use this as a way to plug our own panel as well. We have our panel, but if you do want to use externals, it's absolutely fine. We integrate to other panel providers, and it will be the same thing. Your panels will go through the survey like normal, and they'll come to that question. So all we don't have a modular system with the way we work. If you have access to all question types, they're all included, including the video AI question type.
Yeah, but I
Especially,
think sort of I'm not sure if I posed the question correctly, but I think he doesn't mean sample, but sort of external third parties that do the scripting actually in the
all
tool.
right,
So
okay.
if you have a subscription yourself, could you give access to others that are maybe outside of your organization?
Yes, you can. That is actually let me do a super quick demo of what that could look like. Apologies, I know we're going off scripts now, but yes, you can. So for instance, I work with TJX Group, the guys that own TK Maxx and TJ Maxx in the US. That's my first ever job actually. And they use agencies who they've given access to the platform. Where's the share? Sorry, give me 1 second. I haven't used Zoom in a while, so I'm still figuring out where everything is. Share screen is. Can you see? Can you see where it says user and so on? Are you
I
seeing my
can
screen?
see, yeah, I can see
Yeah.
your screen share now.
So perfect. So this is how you could use it. So you can add your teams here. There could be agencies, and each agency that you give access to, you can set the roles and permissions that they have. So for roles, you can give them access to edit surveys, to distribute surveys, to run analytics. So yes, you can give your agency access, limit what they do. So if you give them edit access, they can also run a video AI study, but they wouldn't be able to distribute or run analytics, or you can give them access to everything. So yeah, that's how that works.
Okay,
So
that
it'll be under
sounds
roles,
perfect and
then
very,
create your teams, and then they have access to it.
yeah. Okay, I have lots more questions. Okay, we have to keep keep looking at the time. Okay, have you got any data, let examples of how many people choose video ahead of text typed answer? So often we see that
Ooh.
people get the choice to do video or text or typing or maybe audio. Do you have any data on that, on how many people are open to doing this?
You know, that is actually a fantastic question because it's something I should have. I was curious about this because I was looking at a particular client's use case, but I haven't done a broader look. So it was I was reading something, it was something around, please let me come back to you on that because that was something that I was also quite curious on. I know the one thing that I did notice was when people, this is where I came with the best practice, when people left, didn't ask people very early on, the drop-off rate was significant. But when they were asked early, the drop-off rate was not as high. But please let me come back to you on that one because even I'm also curious to know the answer across
We
multiple
can
data sets.
maybe circulate it together with
Yeah.
the follow-up on this on this. Okay, so final question. I'll put two are in one because it's a pricing question. So how does a video question impact one's license credits? And do if you work with sample or panels, do they typically charge more for yeah, for recruiting people who are willing to participate video? That some panels do that. How is that changing? Is there anything you can say on that?
Yes. So for every license comes with 4 hours. You get 4 hours included in your package as standard. So you decide how you set the duration for each respondent. You can, of course, top up if you need to. In terms of for samples, most sample providers, including us, we charge based on the time you need the respondents. You need the respondents to take part in the survey. So if it's a 1 minute video you've set, add that in terms of the time that you're asking for respondents. Some people do not. So just to be clear, some people do not increase the length, the LOI of the survey when they're going out to panel, because once someone has given yes, there's still a lot of times they give it to you, but typically you're supposed to increase the LOI of your survey when you're
Yeah, I think
comfortable.
some even have just like another rate next to LOI on this one, but I guess it also depends on the sample a little bit.
And just let me just show you just very quickly how it works on our side, because again, a lot of my clients who do their audience self-service on here do not. I advise them there's no need to increase LOI. It's just my way of helping my clients keep their costs down. The whole idea is people who click yes, we're still going to take part in it anyway. And if you're using a show hide option, there's no part in paying for higher sample costs if it's only going to be a small fraction that you need. So all you're doing is just setting the number that you require, add the criteria that you need. So again, you can add the different criteria. And again, if you're getting a sample from us, you don't need to type in the LOI because our platform just calculates the LOI based on the drop down of the survey that you have.
Perfect. I'm afraid we really have to stop this survey, but I'm sure you everybody can still ask any follow-up questions directly to Oku. We will share your email in the follow-up, and I think it's also in this presentation deck. So thanks a lot for joining everybody, and thanks a lot for your great presentation, Oku.
Not a problem.
And
Thank
we
you.
hope to see you next time.
Thank you all. Please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. I'd be happy to connect with most of you, with all of you, with any follow-up. Cheers all. Have a good day.
Bye.
Take care. Bye bye.